Greetings, Maik Wiedenbach here. I will talk about how you can manipulate certain exercises for different muscle groups and get bigger. Because we all know, the more you know, the bigger you get. So let's start with the chest, which is really all that matters in life. So normally, if you watch my videos, you're doing your chest flies like so, right? Stiff arm, coming together. And that's good, that's fine, keep doing that. But if you want to target different areas of the chest, you could go regular, like so. Then you're pushing your sternum out a tiny bit for the second 4 or 5. And then for the last one, you lean forward a little bit. Not like this, just a tiny bit. What does that do? It emphasizes different part of the chest, like different fibers. Now, you cannot isolate the upper, lower, or middle chest. That's hocus pocus, okay? But you can shift the emphasis ever so slightly. So whenever somebody tells you like, oh, this is for upper chest, run for the hills, because it doesn't work. But you can, do different things. So the same as like, let's say you're doing a bent over row. So you could be in a grip like this, out, pulling it into the sternum, and pulling it apart, which would be mainly mid-back. And then, if you want to do more of a lat focus, you could be going underhanded and tilt the hands a little bit, and you could be pulling into the lower abdomen as opposed to the sternum. One thing, when you're doing a bent over row, the upper body stays parallel to the floor. People like to come up, you know why? Because it's easy, okay? So if you're standing up, then your pull changes from this to this. So you're using only the strong part of the muscle. But you gotta work all parts of the muscle, not just the strong part. Let's talk deadlift. So deadlift, and mind you, I'm talking about bodybuilding here, not powerlifting. If lower back is your focus, keep it close and keep the center of gravity above the bar till about here, work the lower back. If your focus is, let's say, hamstrings, then push the feet in, the heels in, move the glutes back, and really, the moment you come over your feet, you're done because your lower back works. So you're staying like this, you're coming back up. So again, push the heels in, and like that. So neither one is right or wrong, it's just, the question is, what do you want to train, right? So if you're saying, I want to develop my glutes and hamstrings more, that's one thing. Whereas if you are more into the lower back, it's the other thing. Squats, same thing, right? So let's say you're squatting, and you're not squatting for weight, but simply for development. You could say quads. In this case, I'm keeping my hips pretty much straight above the feet, come down like so, and your quads will do the majority of work. If you want to do glutes, rear end, then you want to be sitting back, shifting the glutes back, and come till here and back up. No locking out, because then the knee takes the brunt. So again, either one works, it's just what you want to do. Leg press. People always poo-poo it, but it's actually quite versatile and a good tool. So if outer quad sweep is your goal, then you want to be close, something like this, pushing the heels in, and of course not locking out. If inner thigh / glutes is your target market, you come up high and you drill from here. You could also do it a combo set, so this is harder, and then after a couple reps you switch up here because you shorten the distance you travel, and then from there on you could get a couple more reps. Do not lock out. Why? See this? My muscles do nothing. See here? The muscles work and the knees don't take the brunt. Especially if you're as old as I am, you don't want any joint problems. It's just awful. Then there's some cable stuff I want to go over. So, especially if you're at a gym that has hammer strengths with different grips for the rows, we only have this, but even here, so I can use this and create tension outward, just like so. which will work my mid-back. I can also pull a tiny bit lower and work my lats. Again, neither one is right or wrong. It's just what I want to train. Whatever you do, the upper body stays upright. None of this, okay? Despite all this YouTube nonsense of people with, no. So the lat pull down, I guess we can just use this one. That's a similar animal. So you could, you start out in a grip like this, right? And that would be mainly working the lat insertions, but not so much the meat of the lats. And then you could also say, I really want to get in here, at which point you would be going underhanded, involving the bicep and pulling straight down. What about falling back? Yeah. So falling back makes it into a row, right? So that the angle of pull changes. And it's not a bad thing per se, but just know what you're doing. So as an intensity technique, it's great, but if every rep is like this, it's simply too heavy. So use with caution. Shoulders. So shoulders, first of all, you're sitting back, not an incline press, okay? And then you come from about here, ear level, and you drive till here. No locking out because, again, here, my joints are stacked and I'm doing everything. So from here to here. But this is still tricep heavy. You want to lift dangerously, you could go into the Aaron's press, which is go slightly out. And as you can see, I'm shaking because it's so freaking difficult. You could get a couple reps here and then go into more of a parallel press to fatigue yourself further. So that would be the shoulder press. Then we sort of covered it, but you can also even play with rear delt flies. So you could be very strict, and then as you fatigue, you shorten the range of motion a little bit. So there you have it, different grips make for different muscle groups being worked. As always, use your head. Don't just follow a dogma unless it's mine. And Mike out.